Brazil, the third to last round of the season. We've got Ultra on pole from Blade Jack Sonic and Jensen Olsen. There is Tom Leon, Marcus Adelaide, Davey Serchiara, Ravo, Lampong, Vinaya, Sebastiano Campo, Damian Castro, Dominic Vendetto, Carlos Eduardo, Thierry Headley, UK Wall, Bus Theo, Livery, Hikaru Sato, Taco Van Horn, Matthew Hart, Zygmunt, and Bogusarov. So here we are in Brazil. The championship could very well be decided today. Ravo currently 40 points back in the World Drivers' Championship. This is 5 red lights and we are already underway. Okay, that was a quick one to start there. Ultra off to the line. This is exactly the start he needs. In turn one though, Blade Jack Sonic, who's currently on a 3-win streak at the moment. He's trying to get up in the first, but he's under pressure right now from Jensen Olsen. He drops him. Davey Serchiara moves up in a 3rd place. Perfect start for him in his own country. And if you go down the inside of the scene of the Lago, up into 2nd place. What a first lap it's been for him so far. From 5th to 2nd, but he loses that 2nd place, dropping down into 3rd. As Blade Jack Sonic is back up into 2nd, and he's ready to start putting the pressure back onto Ultra Row. So yes, I must explain the standings here, because as it stands, Ultra will become a champion again, I think. Actually, no. I think as it stands, it is... Oh no, yeah, he would become champion because of the amount of wins he's got. It would be a gap, that, like an amount of wins that it can't overturn. So yeah, even if it does hit 50 points into the final 2 rounds, Davey Serchiara, even with all the wins, would not be able to do it. So pretty much, as long as Ultra Pro crosses the line here, and Ravo is 3rd or below, Ultra will win this championship. No matter where Serchiara is. Serchiara is currently 3 points off of Ravo, and of course 7 points that will put him straight out the championship fight. So Serchiara will be out of the fight as it stands. He needs something to happen to Ultra here. As Ravo picks up a 5-second penalty, this is going to make things a lot worse for him. As now under pressure from Tom Leon, he drops down to 9th. Devendale trying to move ahead. He's only got 10 seconds worth of penalties. I don't know what's happened with his race start, but it's went awful for him. Ravo trying to find up into 8th position again. With all this stuff that's went on, he's knocking him out of this championship fight, and is putting him at big risk of losing 2nd in the standings as well. And yeah, this is his best season in F1 so far at the moment, and he's just not been able to secure the championship. He's not been able to take the lead of it at all. As Tom Leon back ahead of Ravo. God, these fights are going to be epic here today in Brazil. Of course, we've got wet weather, so that means anything, literally anything can happen. Of course, wet weather does really mix up races, and it puts the grid onto an even playing field. Whoever comes out on top is one of the best drivers on the grid. Of course, wet weather changes everything. It's all about skill, it's not the car. You can have an awful car and do incredible in the wet. That there is just straight up facts, which you can't deny. As here is Sebastiano Campo, 4th place right now, as he's trying to catch Davey Serchiara. No DRS though, because we got them wet weather conditions, just in case you didn't know this already. As here is Ocampo lining up and moving at turn 1. He's pulled away too early, and that's allowing Jensen Olsen to catch him and send it round the outside of turn 1, through the center as they go, and in towards the Cena Delago at turn 4. Olsen still behind in 5th, but that there was a very ambitious move, a one that was very well needed for the McLaren driver. Put pressure on that Red Bull, as currently Zygmunt's made up some pretty good places starting P21. He's now all the way up in 17th, trying to hold it, as Hikaru Sato is trying to get past him. Round the outside, Sato can't get ahead, staying down in the 18th. Livery is right there though, so gonna have to be careful as that Aston Martin obviously just seems to be struggling with the car. Nonetheless though, he does move up there into 18th place, and Hikaru Sato drops. Meanwhile, Ultra's lead is coming down. Blade Jack Sonic sets a fast lap in this race, and that there does mean for him he's going to have a higher likelihood of getting past Ultra in the next coming laps. All he needs to do is keep this pace and pile the pressure on, and he should have a shot at claiming first, which would be a huge saving grace to Davy Sarakiera. Not really to Ravo, because Ravo is practically out of this fight now. Down in 11th, with car damage and a penalty. He is pretty much guaranteed here to lose second place in the championship and be knocked out of contention with the drivers. Meanwhile, ahead of him is, out of the race there, Tom Leon. That was unexpected. Tom Leon out of the race in his home Grand Prix. Many Brazilian drivers on this grid as well, and that's Tom Leon knocked out. That's not good for Red Bull in the constructors. That is really bad for them, because in their fight with Renault, they are not that well. In their fight with Renault and Dragon, they are not that far apart at all. That's gonna really knock their confidence and give them a high likelihood of only getting 6th in the standings, which is going to be awful for them. Dragon, they've got a fight with Renault to do, so Blajaso's gotta get a move on here if he wants to assist his team in overturning the gap to Renault in these final 3 rounds. Of course, that'll be their objective. UK Ball still not with a good car, but Blajaso does have a good car. So here we go. Ultra up ahead of Blade Jack Sonic. Now, he is starting to close in that gap once again. Of course, the virtual safety car restart did not assist that Dragon in the slightest. It just made things worse for him, which just delayed progression as Ravo getting ahead of the Benedetto, trying to secure it around the outside. Honestly, that Merc probably doesn't really care. Of course, he's already sick of that team, and he's heading over to McLaren next season, so he couldn't really care less about the team, I don't think. Meanwhile, around the 3rd corner, Blajaso 1.9 seconds back on Ultra Pro. He is extending his advantage out in front, and this is a champion's drive. The 2-time champion currently looking to equal the record in this league, and he's doing it in spectacular style. He's obviously performed incredibly well this season, doing the job when he needed to. People did catch up, but they couldn't catch quick enough. And this sort of stuff, getting that early advantage in the season, it is what makes people give good, it's what makes people have a good chance at the championship. An early advantage is hard to overturn, except for 2019 where we did see Ultra take that championship for Sarakiera after pretty much a season-long battle to try and get past him, which eventually worked. And I'm not too sure the Brazilian crowd will be that happy about Ultra winning the championship, especially when Sarakiera's in this fight, as he's just driving his own race right now, really. Ocampo's a little bit of a distance behind, not really much, less than a second, but not enough to make a move. Of course, in the wet weather, you need to be really close to drivers to try and make an overtake. The fun in wet weather comes to the driver's skill, but anything other than that, wet weather's not really that good, to be honest. As Livery heads down the inside there of Zygmunt to take 16th place. Nice move from the Aston Martin to the Cedar Lago, and that is good for him. Meanwhile, Zygmunt trying to find his way through the field. Also, if you're wondering why Zygmunt's here, which I forgot to tell you about, it's just because of the incident last time out in Germany with Ahmed Silla in the pit lane. Turned out it was a puncture on his car. However, the way he was in the middle of the track was very dangerous, which no one should have done. That did earn him that race ban, and Zygmunt is here in his place for this Grand Prix. Of course, running with his usual number he's used his whole career of number 3, as that number 3 trying to get ahead of the number 6. There we go, Zygmunt down the inside and moving up there into 16th, but he's got to try and secure it on the inside here in towards the Cedar Lago, and he is up in the 16th, and that should be secured because the inside line he is going to hopefully for him be superior. as he is through. And Livery's still putting that pressure on and flying by the outside, definitely way better. And also another update, this race, Bridgehouse like maintaining the gap he has to Ultra while Davey Cerqueira starts to fall off. Tyres should not be an issue this race at all. They can go to the end of this race, these tyres. So don't be surprised if you start to see these guys possibly losing some speed anyway, because yeah, tyres going right at the end is always going to end that. As for Revo, he's got literally nothing in this race really to save him. He's looking to get 9th out of the stands because Castro is 6 seconds back. As here is Revo looking to the inside line, and he's up there into 9th. Revo's only hope here of being in this World Championship battle is if Ultra does crash out, which would also be a huge help around Cerqueira, who would just take lead. No, he would not take lead championship, he would just take second by a big margin anyways. And it would also spice up the championship in the final 2 rounds for Japan and Abu Dhabi, but hey, these things pretty rare happen. We don't really see much crashes going on really when it comes to Brazil. It's a pretty clean track in terms of driver safety, so crashes don't happen that often. Meanwhile, we've got 7 laps to go, and Adelaide's trying to get ahead of Sebastian Campo. He's going to have a look to the outside using ERS there, forcing Ocampo to take the inside. And that there was a successful trick from Adelaide, who's up there at the 4th. And because we've seen him many times, the inside just doesn't work that well here at this corner. But this time, Ocampo's made the inside work at Lago. He maintains 4th place by blocking off Adelaide. What excellent driving that was from him. Jensen Olsen, he can see Adelaide and Ocampo right ahead of him. He's not close enough to make a move as it stands, but yeah, he could just chip away small bits of time. Meanwhile, behind him he's got Lamfong and Vinayak for company. And also as well, Ferrari have got a good chance to secure the constructors today. Now, McLaren's positions in this race, I'm not sure how it would go. I think it would go to Ferrari in the stands. So that does mean McLaren have got to get a move on if they want to stay in contention. Here is Adelaide looking to the inside of Ocampo, but not able to make the move yet. Looking at the inside, switching to the outside, trying all sorts of different lines. He's taking a different line though compared to Ocampo, and wait, the rain is cleared. I've only just noticed that. The rain is cleared. And, okay, I did not expect to see that. Bogsarov almost a lap down already. Let's see what he does. As of course, he is last place in this Grand Prix. And is he going to come in the pits and all? Yes, he is. He is in. And what is he going to come in for though? What tyre? Well, don't know. Ultra stays out. Leon Soik stays out. Cerqueira is the first one to make the call. Well, second driver, because Boxar made it first. Boxar's going on to softs. It's going to also be softs for Davey Cerqueira, who gets out pretty quickly. McLaren double stacking. They clearly think it's more worth it to double stack their cars. As Revo's held up, that's even more damage to his championship. And McLaren will be benefiting from that for sure. Most certainly. Anyways, Davey Cerqueira, he's got to try and get a move on here. Versteel and Headley are just ahead of him. And yeah, he's going to have a lot more speed I think at the moment. DRS enabled for him as he's trying down the straight. Of course, it's going to take a little while for these tires to get up to temperature properly, as Versteel gets a penalty for causing a collision. And don't know why, but anyways. Oh, Cerqueira's been held up. He has been properly held up there. What is going on? What is Bogdasarov doing here? He is completely holding up Davey Cerqueira. This is chaos. What is happening here? Bro. Okay. What was that? Yeah, he's not even got a puncture or anything. He's just refusing to drive. hell no. What was that? Anyways, because of this ultra lead from Blade Giant Sonic and Lam Fong, Davey Sarukira is now down to 8. That is a huge, and I mean huge amount of damage to this championship. I think this is ruining it, as here goes Zygmunt on the inters, sending it up into 8th place, and he's going for 7th. I don't know what this man's doing. Is there a chance that the inters are still slightly better than the dries? Well, don't know about that. He's pulling away. Zygmunt is pulling away. UK-Ball's up in 4th at the moment, and he's got Lam Fong right ahead, who's pretty slow at the moment. I don't know what's going on, but the inters currently still better than the dries in conditions that look very dry at the moment. UK-Ball finally coming in from P3, and he's got 3 laps to go in this race. Where is it going to come out? As he's heading on to medium tyres. What is Zygmunt doing? He's coming in too. I don't know what's been going on there though. With the dry tyres just not working properly. The Briton coming out the pits in a certain position, I don't know which one. As out there goes Versio just behind UK-Ball, who's now 11th in this Grand Prix. Ravel's down in 13th place. And the Briton is so close, yet so far to another point this season. As Versio moves up into 11th. Ultra fastest in the middle sector. As you can see, he's just nursing that Ferrari home. He's got no reason to push it. He's pulled out the gap he needs. He's maintained it. He's not went for anything special. He's just driven a flawless race. No pushing required. And it's worked out for him at the moment. As Ocampo ahead of Lam Fong, who drops down into 4th. The Renault will still be determined to try and get onto the podium. Of course, all that chaos from Davey Sarukira and Dalbog Starov. Of course, you know what that's all done. So yeah, by the way, Bogsar will be definitely under investigation for that incident, because that was purely unacceptable. Literally zero excuse for what went on. Nothing at all. As you came all back down into 12th once again, Versio up into 11th again. Well, Headley's managed to find his way up into the points paying positions there. And also Damian Castro still maintaining a solid 6th at the moment, as on the final lap of this race. Ultra Bro, he's getting so close, and this is the lap where people love to push. The last lap of a race. And as you can see here, Ultra's going to just drive this one as fast as possible. He's got no more traffic to clear. Everything that could go right for him in this race has went right. Ravel's out of penalty, he's dropped out the points. Davey Sarukira, he's been held up massively on an early gamble for dries. And Ultra, he maintained a lead over 2 seconds for most of this race. As we come around to the final couple corners now, here it is. The Ferrari getting his first championship in 2018 with Renault. Picks up one in 2019 with Ferrari, and he gets another one. He ties the record and is a 3-time champion of the world in 2021. Ocampo's going to finish off with a podium. Incredible work for Red Bull after huge damage limitation they've had to put up there. Renault also putting up a good fight to stay in 4th in the standings, with 4th and 5th on the track there. Donny Jardell's going to get 9th despite having 10 seconds of penalties for. Davey Sarukira is going to be furious with Boxar after this race though. Versio will hold on for 11th from UK-Ball. Then it's Ravo, Jensen Olsen, then Carlos Eduardo. Not a good race for him. The Brazilian finishes down 15th, then it's Zygmunt from P21 up to 16th. Then Matthew Hart, a solid result for P17. Livery's going to finish next. Then it's going to be Akari Sato, then Tato Van Horn and Daniel Bogdasarov. Who I don't understand what was he doing. I don't understand that. Completely unacceptable. Here it is, the podium. Ultra, not only a race winner, but he ties the record for championships, and he's a 3-time champion of the world. Later, Jack Sonic puts up a solid performance. His 3-race win streak is gone. He finishes second place, but it's still a solid effort, which is going to be good for Dragon of the Championship. However, I think they may have lost overall compared to Red Bull and Renault that race. Not Red Bull, they definitely beat Red Bull that race. So that's going to be good for them. But Renault is going to be a bit of a difficult task in the final 2 rounds. Ocampo, very good damage limitation after Tom Leon's DNF. He finished in 3rd place for Red Bull Racing. And for that, let's listen to the Colombian national anthem. Ultra wins this race from Blade Sonic, Sebastian Campo, Lamfong, Vinayak Castro, Adelaide, Sir Kiera, Demendao, Headley, Versio, UK Ball, Revo, Olsen, Eduardo, Zygmunt, Hart, Livery Sato, Van Horn, Bogsarov, Tom Leon. Of course, Tom Leon retired earlier on after that crash. So we'll see you next time. It's been a bit of an alright race, especially when the dry came around. But 2 more rounds to go, but we've already crowned our new champion. It is Ultra. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the final 2 races when F1 Classic returns.